And in those moments, the room just fills with what every classroom should fill with, which is a true sense of a belief in what's possible, a hope for the future ahead. And when I'm sitting in rooms like these and admissions preview day, 3 words really come to mind, and I shared these with the group on Sunday, that MBA is a place that is filled with experiences that are inspirational, that are aspirational, and that are truly transformational. And all of you in this room are either on that journey now as a student or an essential part of making that possible for the boys here at MBA. So thank you both for supporting these incredible endeavors and efforts, and also boys for making the choice to be here and to commit to all that it means to be present and be a part of this community every day. The room is full of people who have been a part of the MBA journey at some point, many alumni as well. We have the special privilege today of hearing from one of our alums, the class of 1997, Steele Yancey. Steele is joined by his family. His wife, Jessie, is a teacher over at Harpeth Hall, and she is right in the back here. She's standing because she's the only person allowed to do this, but she has to sneak out to go teach class. And she said, probably right in the middle of Steele's talk. So she's standing to the back. And his lovely children, daughter, Poppy, who's in 4th grade, and son, Vaughn, who's a current 6th grader, both over at St. Paul. So thank you all for being here this morning. Steele is going to share a few words with us now. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm not the very best public speaker, so I'm going to read this, so pardon me. I'm Steele Yancey, graduate of 1997, and I'd like to thank Dr. Daughtry and Camellia Howarth for asking me to be here this morning. I can't tell you how honored I am to be back here on this special hill that means so much to me, to speak to this specific group, the named scholars. When Camellia reached out to ask me to share my story, my first reaction was, oh goodness, Camellia, I am not the best at public speaking, but she's persuasive. And I know that if sharing my story can help one boy, a parent, or sponsor more fully understand or reinforce the impact of the kindness, generosity, and support that this MBA community provides, it's worth putting my pride aside. The named scholars, what an honor to be among the ranks of this special group. Each of you has the opportunity to experience similar encouragement and support that I was fortunate to receive when I was here in your shoes. I certainly count my Montgomery Bell education among the greatest gifts of my life. And I might even go so far as to say as what MBA, its teachers, coaches, and the surrounding community gave me was a foundation to build a life that I feel so blessed to lead today. Although the named scholars program did not formally yet exist during my time here, I'm incredibly honored to have some of my sponsor family here today to express my gratitude and publicly recognize their gift to me. Frank Blair III, I call Big Frank, and Frank Blair IV, I call Little Frank. I know that they have never wanted the attention because of the humility they possess. And I apologize for putting you two on the spot this morning, but you deserve recognition. I certainly would not be here if it were not for their endless love and support. Sorry, I'm emotional. So you might be wondering, if there was not a name scholar program, how did your story lead you here this morning? I came to NBA as a 7th grader, but it was during my freshman year that my 15-year-old world started to unravel at home. The summer before my sophomore year here at NBA, my father left my mother, my 3 brothers, my sister, and me. Today, being a father myself, it's difficult to imagine what makes a man that you've looked up to your entire young life disappoint you so profoundly. He just left. My amazing mother, who instantly became a single mother of 5, found herself alone with no money, no vehicle. Our house was repossessed, and no means of continuing a normal life here in Nashville. The only option was for our family to move back to East Tennessee and move in with my dying grandmother. But this meant leaving behind a life we loved. For me, it meant saying goodbye to my friends, my sports teams, my school, some of the most important things to any 15-year-old boy. It certainly was not an easy time for any of us. My family was broken. My family was suffering. I felt hurt. And the future seemed an impossible, daunting path that none of us were quite sure how to begin navigating. During difficult times like these, it's truly awe-inspiring to see how this NBA community reaches out and offers to help. I still feel overcome with gratitude, thinking about the helping hands that so many extended to my family and me throughout the tumultuous months that ensued. It was during this time that little Frank, my best friend and fellow classmate of mine, and his parents, Frank and Florence Blair, and their daughter Hayes, made one of the most selfless, generous offers I've ever been honored to witness. They said, "Steele, why don't you come live with us?" Then my mother and I were faced with a difficult decision. Should I move to East Tennessee with my hurting family? Or should I accept the Blair's incredible offer to stay in Nashville and continue earning one of the best educations available? With many mixed emotions, some tears, and the help of Mrs. Hensley and the financial aid department of NBA, I chose the latter. As truly appreciative as I was for the financial aid NBA offered me, I remember returning to school, initially feeling somewhat ashamed of how my father had just abandoned us, really scared of what the future held, and more than a little concerned about the well-being of my mom and 4 siblings. I felt guilty and unworthy that I was getting an amazing opportunity to be here while my mother was working so hard to provide and really just trying to make it to support 5 kids 4 hours away in Bristol. It was trying to hold on to my faith, trusting that the Lord is in control of all things, and the supportive adults rallying around me during this time that got me through it all. At my new home with the Blairs, Frank and Flo loved me as if I were their own. And all but legally adopted me. While I lost one parent, I undoubtedly gained two more. Young Frank, little Frank, even selflessly let me take over his own room while he opted to sleep in the playroom. At school, it was a similar story. The adults here at NBA treated me with kindness, but never to the point that I was made to feel different or inferior. I'll never forget how Mr. Jim Poston, my 9th grade English teacher and school counselor, would often meet me in his office after lunch. It wasn't a, you need to meet me in my office type situation. It was just that he created a safe environment for me to unload thoughts and feelings that I was having. He earnestly would listen and question and challenge me to overcome my situation without internalizing my anger or becoming bitter. I will always remember and be thankful for how every year my football coach, Tom Moore, would take me to the father-son banquet just so I wouldn't feel left out. I'll be ever grateful for the many times Mr. Joy would call me to his desk with a small task to run for him. Both aware that he just wanted to check in with me to see how I was doing. He was showing he really cared for me and for me to know that I had his support. And it was this environment of support that was restorative. The way countless teachers, coaches, administrators created a safe, serious, and sacred school environment was how the world started to make sense again. I was pushed mentally in the classroom, and I was pushed physically on the track and athletic fields. And day by day, I became more motivated, more confident, and more convinced that I could, with the help of the Lord and the support of this community, overcome any challenge that life presented. Whether it was a calculus test, AP exams, two-a-day practices, or a major personal crisis. To the young men here today, I want to encourage you to really get to know your sponsors. The sponsors here today have willingly given to this NBA community because they understand how life-changing an NBA education can be. They care about this school, and they want the best young men in Nashville, no matter their situation, to be the lifeblood of this place. That's you. They care about you. This campus is graced with some of the finest, if not the finest facilities in the country. But I was so glad to hear Dr. Daughtry say this past Sunday, and I'll paraphrase that, although we greatly appreciate these buildings and the resources we have, it's not what makes NBA NBA. It's the people, the community, and it begins with you, the young men that make the student body. It's your families that sacrifice to make your education a priority. It is the teachers that care, truly care about seeing you learn, grow, and succeed. And it's the vast network of supporters, like the sponsors that are in this room this morning, pouring their time, resources, and love into you, the students, so that you can have a foundation to learn, grow, and succeed in your future. To the sponsors, I can't thank you enough for doing what you do. Your selfless generosity, much like the Blair family showered on me, changes lives. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. May God bless you all. Roll bread.